Have you ever met someone who avoids social gathering, prefers solitude, and seems distant? Well, are they an introvert, or could it be something more like social anxiety? Today, we are going to talk about same topic and breaking down the key differences between introversion and social anxiety, so you can understand yourself and those around you. I am Devupam Sanyar and a professional counselor, mental health expert, cardiac survivor, and half marathon runner. I've done that post surgery. And my journey has been one of the resilience, bouncing back from surgery, from depth of my mental health, and from where I have pushed my limits despite those challenges. And I understand that recovering from physical setback is equally hard than what is a mental challenge or setback of mental setback. And I have recovered from physical setback as well as mental setback in my life. All right, so let's come back to this topic today. Some people genuinely enjoy their own company while they're desperately, want to connect, but feel paralyzed by fear. So, how do you tell the difference? If somebody is an introvert, they'll be energized by the solitude. They'll prefer deep one-on-one conversations over large social gathering. But if situation demands, they can still navigate when needed. However, if somebody is socially anxious and they would crave connection, they would like to be in social gathering. However, they'll experience intense fear of judgment, embarrassment, or rejection in their social situation. Now, this fear can be so overwhelming that they avoid social interactions entirely, even when they actually want to do, right? Actually want to go and connect, but this fear would be too much to overcome, right? So if there is a party, right, for an example, an introvert would skip the party and they would have a very peaceful reading session or watching a movie alone. That's an introvert. However, if somebody is socially anxious, what they would do is they'll skip the same party. However, not because they want to watch a movie or read alone, rather they would face they would face the fear of being judged, felt awkward, or felt they would have this feeling of being embarrassed, right? So that's why they would skip the party. Another scenario could be that somebody might want to avoid small talks, right, comfortably, and they just sit somewhere near. But if there is an interesting topic going on, they would come back and they'll engage in conversation. However, a socially anxious person would just dread to say hello because they are overanalyzing the situation, just saying, okay, what happens if I keep forgetting these things and that. So, where is the problem, right? How do you understand when it is an introversion, when it is social anxiety, and what can you do for that? Now, being an introvert it's a personality trait. There is nothing to do about it, right? It's a part of who you are, and it's perfectly okay. There is no problem with it. But social anxiety is a mental health challenge, right? And it can limit your life unaddressed. And remember, this is something that I keep talking about, that when do you draw the line? What is that line which says that, okay, what is normal anxiety, or when you should think of it as a challenge, particularly when this challenge is restricting your normal life, when it is interfering in your normal life, that's where we call it a mental health challenge, right? So how do you know that whether it is it's somebody's introvert or having symptoms of social anxiety? Now, introverts would choose to spend time alone as it recharges them, and socially anxious individuals will just skip that out of fear, right? They'll feel like feeling humiliated and their research. Now, if we see the researches regarding the same thing, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, about 12% of US adults actually experience social anxiety disorder at some point of their lives. Now, this research is not available for for people of India, but I'm sure this might be much more in India, or at a similar level, right? Because we all have seen so many people with social anxiety and all that. There is no research that I can quote for this right now for India, but yeah, this is the research that we have from the US. And why did I say that? I'll come back to it. This in Journal of Anxiety Disorder, it found that social anxiety is often struggle with low self-esteem, and it may develop avoidance behaviors, and which gets worsen over time and time. And why? Because the social experiences that people feel, experience, especially at the beginning, early years, like bullying, harsh criticism, or public embarrassment, or very social, tough social structures, tough social life. This could be a factor for social anxiety, right? So, and this is something, again, this is not something, a disorder which keeps happening for you entire life, right? This is the situation where people experience, and if you get help, if you understand what it is, you can actually, take care of it, right? This is not, I mean, we have seen it in very common. And I was reading about Barbara Streisand, and she was a legendary singer. I didn't know about her previously, but while I was doing research for this, I came to know about her, that she forgot her lyrics in one of her concerts in 1967, and she actually avoided live performance for 30 years. And talk about social anxiety, right? There was an interview, or there was an article or a report published on Johnny Depp, who publicly admitted that he has faced social anxiety, and often avoided interviews and public appearances because of so many reasons, right? So it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon in public life as well, right? Even if you see in public, in offices, right? If we go to office, you'd find people who would the socially awkward, socially anxious people. They'll feel awkward, and they'll always paralyzed by fear of something wrong, right? They will avoid eye contact just because they might need to speak to you and all that, due to overwhelming anxiety. So these are the things that actually would help you understand. Now, how do you know? So if you have to understand those flags to determine if there is a social anxiety or not. Remember, there will be the people or if you are experiencing something, you'll avoid social interactions out of fear and not out of preference. So if you have started avoiding social interactions because you feel you're dreading inside, and you're feeling something might go wrong, and so on and so forth, that's a sign of social anxiety, not introversion, right? You'll feel physiological symptoms, for example, sweating, nausea, or racing heart, and trembling, and all those situations. These are sign of social anxiety, not introversion. And as I said, the moment it starts interfering with the normal daily life, this is something that is required for you, that is important, that you consider this as a social anxiety and mental challenge. So what do you do, right? That's the first thing. And I keep talking about CBT, which is cognitive restructuring, or behavior restructuring, thought restructuring, cognitive restructuring. So you can help yourself with restructuring of your thoughts, right? Whenever you feel, oh, I'm feeling socially anxious because I might be embarrassed, challenge your thought. See, why do people care? There are so many people. Why do people care about my my behavior, my experience, and so on and so forth? So you are actually challenging your thought process. You're actually challenging your restructure, and you're actually restructuring your thought. And there is a detailed video on how do you do that, and I'll post the link over here. You can go through that to understand restructuring a bit better. You can gradually expose yourself to social situation, right? If you have to go to a party, just don't go to the overcrowded New Year party like that the first go. Go to the smaller get together with friends, and then slowly increase the interactions from there. Start from very minimum, and slowly gather your confidence, slowly help yourself to restructure the cognitive behavior. And that's how you keep reinforcing yourself that, okay, remember the last time I went to this party, nothing happened, nobody judged me, I didn't feel awkward, it was good experience, so why would it be this time, right? So you keep reinforcing yourself with those all positive outcomes that kept coming, and that's how you build your self-esteem, and also your understanding about yourself, and counter the social anxiety. Third thing is to be not to be perfectionist, right? That's another problem on which we can deal with it later in a separate video. Perfectionism is another mental challenge. However, remember that we all are human, and we all have flaws, and we all deal with so many we all do mistakes. We do it every day. I mean, just if you just best thing, I guess, would be to, if you all use your Facebook account, go back and search your past posts that you have done 5 or 10 years back, and why did I do this, right? So that's one thing about human, that we all make mistakes. We don't realize at the point of time, because we are taking decision at that point of time with the best intention that we have, which might not be the best in a retrospection. And that's why look, hindsight is 2020, right? So I mean, we have to accept that we are people with flaw, and we'll make mistakes, and we learn from it, and we move on, right? I mean, there is if we just don't act because we would make mistakes, we'll just keep ourselves locked, right? And that's what we if somebody is experiencing through social anxiety, they might feel like doing that. Having said that, don't wait the symptoms to get worse before you reach out to a mental health expert. Please do reach out to a mental health expert, a counselor, a therapist, so that they can help you navigate this path effectively, right? So this is very important that you take it very seriously, because this might actually cause a lot of hindrance to your life. Now, I don't know, are you introvert, or if you have seen anybody with social anxiety, or if you have faced if you know somebody who are introverts, talk about them. Drop a message, drop a comment, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more mental health insights. And till then, be well, be happy, and take care of yourself. See you in the next video. Bye.